With all of your rafters successfully installed, you're ready for polycarbonate panel installation. The first two things we're going to want to do are remove the protective film from the bottom of each sheet. And the second thing is identifying our inside panels. These are recognizable as they have standing seam ribs on both the left and the right sides, so they should all look identical to one another. And these inside panels are any and all panels that don't touch one of your very outsidemost rafters. Pick one of your internal panels and go ahead and peel the top protective film back a couple of inches to allow for you to install vent tape on said panel. Make sure that the white circles or vents are centered on the end of that panel after blowing out or cleaning any debris off of the end of it. Once you put this vent tape on, no particles or debris will ever get in or out anymore. Firmly place that vent tape over it, locking it into place. And you can go ahead and install the flute cover on this end. It is a friction fit. Once you put that on there, it will not move ever again. So with this singular panel that we just finished with the vent tape and the flute cover, go ahead and set that on top of your center rafters. Just pick one, there's no one in specific, but make sure that end that you installed the flute cover on is butted up against the ledger plate. What you're going to do here is you're going to mark this panel for length. And so if your rafter ends have scroll caps, you're going to mark the panel 1.5 inches shorter than the rafter length. If your rafter end has flat caps, you're going to want to mark the panel length 1/2 inch shorter than the rafter length. These finished rafter lengths that I'm referencing can be seen as measurement F on your layout worksheet. We recommend measuring twice and then carefully marking your panel, bringing it back down to your workspace before cutting it to length. If you're not 100% confident in your cut, go ahead and cut one panel, take it back up top, remeasure everything and make sure it all lines up before using that as a template to mark and cut all of your remaining panels. The end of these panels will be covered up when you're all done, so slight imperfections are hidden, but that being said, you really want to try and get as close to square as possible. On a final note, unless you have a custom design in your roof, all of your inside and outside panels will have the same exact trimmed length. Once you're all cut, go ahead and apply the vent tape and the flute covers before moving on to the next step. You're now ready to begin installing your panel clips on your rafters. We recommend starting in the very center of the roof for this application. These clips will install 4 to 5 inches from the end of each rafter, and then we will use a slight math calculation to know that on center of each clip is going to be 36 inches or closer. The middlemost location with all of your panel clips won't actually use a clip, and instead it's going to use what we call a panel anchor, and we'll show you what that is and where that goes here in just a second. The trick that you can use to know how many clips you're supposed to use on each rafter is going to be taking the number of panel clips on your pack list and dividing it by the number of panel anchors you have. This will tell you how many clips per rafter you're going to use, remembering that each rafter gets this many clips plus one panel anchor per rafter. So very quickly, if I had 28 panel clips on my pack slip and 7 anchors listed, I would know that each inside rafter receives 4 clips and 1 anchor apiece, spacing them out accordingly with the anchor as the very middle piece. If you're unsure how many clips to use, go ahead and give us a quick call. We can go ahead and help you out with either number of clips or their on-center spacings, 563-345-6745. Once your first inside rafter is done, you can move over to the next one and install the panel clips in about the same spot. We like to line these panel clips up pretty consistently. It's not required, and if they're off a little bit, no big deal. Just gentle reminder here as well, the very middle portion of hardware, which is where your anchor is going to be blank. There's nothing there yet. Now with the clips on both sides of your inside rafters, you can go ahead and slide your first polycarbonate panel in. Jamming it in a little bit into these clips, you should be able to feel it lock into place. You can now move on to panel number 2, repeating the same panel clip steps as before. So once panel clip number 2 is slid in and locked into place, now we can go ahead and reach over and put that first panel anchor down between the two panels. Be extra careful here, as the panel anchor fasteners are going in between the panels and not through them. You never put fasteners through the polycarbonate panels anywhere in this entire roof. Go ahead and check the diagram in your written installation guide for a close-up visual of what I'm describing here. You can rinse and repeat all of these steps until all of your internal panels are successfully installed, leaving you with just one panel to install on each of your outside rafters.